welcome back to the final approach. We are on episode, I think it's 10 now. I think it's 10. So we're into number 10. We're in the research lab. At some point I need to upgrade the lab because I can't go any higher even if I had the science. But we're actually going to take, and I was looking at this, I was thinking, oh, big engines, little engines, all these things we could do. I'm going to take this fuel system node just because it has external fuel ducts. We have some slightly bigger engines, slightly bigger fuel tanks that might be useful and some adapters, but fuel ducts, they're important to me. So we're taking those, and then I think this episode, what have we got? Explore the Mun, land on the Mun. Well, we're taking that mission straight away. Bring Munstone back, build new orbital station, Oh, rescue Theodolite from orbit of Kerbal. Now, that's interesting because there was a different one there. Plant flag. Can I plant flags? Let's have a look. Does this have the ability? Can place flags? Can perform EVAs? Where's my sampled collection? Ah, well, we're definitely going to have to do that then because we want samples. So, I think we're going to take the plant flag. There we go. And do we want anything else? Science data from the surface of Mun. Yeah, we'll get that. We'll get the snowballing effect of lots of science stuff going there. And Munstone. I think we're going to send a separate mission for that. We've got 10 years to do it. I think we're going to select it. And we're not going to do it right now, but we're going to go hunting for Munstone. I don't actually know how you get it. I don't know how you get it, whether you can just walk up to it and harvest it, or whether you have to have an arm to do it. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. So we'll get that. Right, orbital station around Kerbal knows. Tourists, what are the tourists going to? Suborbital flight, orbital flight. You're not paying me much. Orbital flight, suborbital flight, suborbital flight, orbital flight. Don't really need you. Right, so we're going to put together a craft to land upon the Mun, and I will get right back to you. Right, here we are on the launch pad. We have put Val in because we are going for a landing on the Mun. We're going to set the engines off, and then I'm going to talk to you a bit about this craft as it goes up. So, this craft has 4 boosters on the outside instead of the 2, and they are asparagus stage. That means fuel from these tanks here is going to be pumped into these tanks to keep them full, and we're going to stage in 2 sets. Okay, we've got 1 engine in the middle, the swivel in the middle that can actually steer. All the others are pretty much just fire and goes. They are reliant. So we're going up, and we've got a little bit of a wiggle there because I didn't put the SAS on. We're going up, and we're just going to see that these tanks here are actually going to decouple first. They're going to burn off very quickly because they're basically fueling all 5 engines. So there we go, we're just going up. Up and up and up and up and up and up away. And the idea here is that we're shedding excess weight. In Kerbal, in KSP, engines are very heavy and fuel tanks are very, very, very heavy. So getting rid of fuel tanks is a big positive for us. Instead of like in real life, where it's actually your fuel load is actually a major sort of contributing factor. Yeah, in KSP it is your, let's put it on program. It is your tankage that's actually quite heavy. So we're getting up there. We're just going to hold it on this one actually. Let it ride up into the atmosphere. You can see the top of the craft there. We've stuck some. This is pretty much this section here is pretty much just a redesigned Carrot 5 and 6. We put some solar panels on, some landing legs on, but we're just giving ourselves that extra boost up into orbit. That we're trying to get some of this fuel carried up there. And you see we've got a lot of fuel left on board this craft, which is really good. We're going to come up there, and I think we're going to aim for about an 80 to 90 kilometer orbit once we get up there. We're getting a lot of heating, and I'm actually still quite low in the atmosphere, and we maybe should have gone for a bit of a steeper ascent, but we will see. It's going to get up there. It's just a matter of how much sort of atmospheric drag we get while we're going up there. So we're going to go for 90, I think, so the atmospheric drag will actually sort of cancel out a bit of that, and there we go. Right, so let's have a look. We're going to put ourselves into orbit. Oh, that's dropping a little bit, so anyway, pull that out. Get ourselves an orbit. Is that going to be okay? It's 88.94. That's not terrible. I don't hate it. Just squidge it across a bit. What we got? 89.93. That's fine, right? At some point, I would really like it if we actually got the ability for our pilots to actually target maneuver nodes, because that would be wonderful. So you can see we're doing this burn now with these side parts on, and there's still quite a bit of fuel left in them. So the idea is that we can actually, this center section is full of fuel. This is going to be doing our transfer to the Mun, okay? It's going to do the transfer to the Mun, and then may even start our descent onto the surface of the Mun. We may go direct, we may go orbit, I'm not sure. I think we might just go for a direct descent because that'd be quite cool. Just fire the engines and go in for it. So there we go, we're coming in. We've got about 45 seconds until we need to fire some engines. So we're just going to go along there and get closer and closer and closer. It says the burn time is about 45 seconds, so that's interesting. I wonder how accurate it is with asparagus staged engines and things like that. It'd be interesting to know how much work they've done on this for KSP. There we go, firing engines. A little bit late, but it doesn't really matter because we're gonna be staying reasonably safe on this one. It's actually not too bad getting to orbit with this craft. So there we go, onto our final launch stage. So it's still technically first stage, I think. It's like staging 2/3. It's a bit like Atlas gone wrong, I suppose it is. And we're going to nose down a bit, get it onto there. Right. So we're just trying to bring up that periapsor right now, and we're going to cut the engines when we get near it. Alright, here we go. Come on, coming up. Get me to orbit, please. Terrible orbit. This is terrible. That is an absolutely terrible orbit, but we'll go with it. We'll go with that terrible orbit. So, note to self, don't be late on your burn. Right. Set as target. Right. Let's have a look where we're going to be burning from. We're going to be burning from about here, I think. Add maneuver. Right. Let's just do that. Pull it out. That's going to hit. So where's it going to hit is the question. You know what? We're going to go direct. We're going to go direct descent. Yeah. We're going to go direct descent. Full bore into the Mun. That's what we're going to do. Okay, because I think we've got thrust to do that. I think we've got thrust for days, but we'll see. We will see. Do I want to go? No, Val hasn't been into orbit low, has she? No, that doesn't matter. Let's just do it. Let's just go. If Val ends up stuck on the Mun, well, she gets stuck on the Mun. Right. Now I suppose we've got to orientate our craft around for the burn, and this is the fun bit because this thing is actually, you know, quite a big chunky engine, but it does have a lot of fuel still, so that fuel is heavy-ish and the tanks are heavier. So he's going to rotate that round, get into a position. Val's loving it. Val's get like, yeah, I'm going to the Mun. Yeah, you might splatter the face of the Mun though, Val. I'm just being entirely honest on that one. You know, this is not how NASA or anybody planned their missions. They didn't plan direct straight from Earth to land on Moon without going into orbit or anything like that. I don't think direct descent with the Gemini or anything like that was. I think they all had some orbital component to prepare so that they could actually a stage of preparation almost. You can see on the outside of the craft there we've got a load of bits and bobs sort of stuck on. So anyway, let's just get this ready and fire the engines, I think. There we go, put us on to the maneuver node nicely, there we go. And then it's a case of just watching this and seeing how it's going. But we don't need to watch it just yet. Ooh, weird sound jumping. I've noticed that with Kerbal, it jumps from one ear to the other when you go in and out of the map view. And I'm not sure if it's a glitch or it's planned or it's to inform you. Oh, that's good. You can actually feel it. Loving the Union flag on there. Not the Union Jack. Well, is it the Union Jack? It's a Union Jack when it's on a ship. Is this a ship? I suppose it's a spaceship, so it's a Union Jack. I don't know. Right. Coming up to our intercept with the Mun. How close are we getting? And top there. Right. Now we're going to actually focus view on this, but I'm going to remember to come off it. And I'm going to just thrust the engines a little. I want to land on the sunny side here, ideally. Around about there would be nice. Yeah, about there. There's okay. That's going to mean when we come into orbit. If we come into orbit, we're going to be on a bit of an inclined plane, but that's not the worst thing in the world for us. Can we just change that a little bit? I wonder. Get rid of that. Can I thrust? I'm trying to think which way is the best way to do this. is this, that's the normal, that's up. I don't want to go up, I want to go down actually. You know what, let's just rotate it all the way through. And I'm going to try and just change that because we've got a little bit of an odd plane situation there. And for our first landing, I'd like it to be a reasonably equatorial landing. You don't get as much interesting stuff equatorial, but yeah, it might be better. No, that's not going to work for us. Yeah, let's not do that. That's actually going to change it, and not at all. So let's not do that. That's, yeah, we decided that's not what we want to do. Yeah, we're just gonna. Oh, now that is interesting. We need to go all the way around. Silly me. It's like Val wants to go into orbit, and she's trying to force me to put her into orbit, I think. Oh, the annoyance. The annoyance. Come on, Val. Right. Here we go. Bring it back down. And we want to go somewhere nice and sunny. There looks nice. There. That's nice. I don't know what that is. It looks flattish. Could be a bit of a ridge there. There we go. Straight in. That's perfect. Right. Right, Val. So we're going to time warp to about here. Warp there. There we go, coming in. And of course we're going to change our focus so we're actually on the craft, because that is something we did in the last episode that we forgot about. Yeah, that's right. So here we go. Now we're going to have to think about how much, what's our orbital speed, what's our delta V, what's our burn time. Burn time on this is 58 seconds. 58 seconds, so it's going. We've got a bit of time on it, shall we say? We could just, you know, jump around a bit, jump around. You go and head first into it, which is quite terrifying, actually. Well, even for you, that is. Why are you smiling? You literally were heading straight at the moon. If we didn't move you, you were going to crash. Right. Brakes, dirty brakes. Action groups for our landing legs is a good idea, because we're going to detach that bottom stage as we come in for landing. We've got oodles of fuel actually on that thing, but of course we're going to accelerate as we approach the moon, because its gravity is actually significant. It's not nothing. There is some gravity there, and it's going to speed us up. So you can see our orbital speed will increase as we go forward. This is the slowest we're going to be at the moment. So we need to think about just how much sort of braking we are going to need. So what I might do is a little cheaty. We're going to put a little, see if I can. Can I put a maneuver node just there? Add a maneuver node there. Right, so that's going to give me an hour to get there. Right, so what we could do is, we know this is going to brake before that. So we're going to actually speed up to that a little bit. We don't want science in orbit. We don't need the science in orbit, in fact, because we've done all of that. So we're going to speed up to this. I'm going to get down to, let's see, 10 minutes or so would be good. The problem is I know it takes time for time warp to stop. So that would be concerning, wouldn't it? 50, 52, 53, this is going a bit slower than I would like. Let's hurry up, come on. I don't want to go to the next level because I'll probably hit the moon at that point. 25, there we go. A bit more, keep going. Maybe when we get to, I don't know, 10, I'll slow it down a little bit. Right, we're going to slow down now. Go to there. So we're down to 7. You see, it took 3 minutes technically for that time warp to slow down. So we'd have actually, if we'd have gone too far, we'd have actually gone straight into the moon before the time warp sort of set itself. We're about 5 minutes out, and you can see our orbital speed is going up and up and up now. So we're going to use quite a chunk of this stage, and we're not going to be able to use it for taking off because we're going to get rid of it. So yeah, down to 3 minutes, are we? 3 minutes now. So we're going to look at what, about a minute. We're going to fire our engines up, or less than a minute, something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Let's do that. There we go. Right. This is going to take a full minute to fire everything, and we don't need to really worry about that. We could slow down a little bit first. I don't know. Do we want to? I don't know if I really care. Don't really care. I'm going to take it down about 30 seconds until impact. Then we're going to fire up the engines and just see where that leaves us. We've got plenty of fuel, so I don't need to be highly efficient here. So let's fire some engines. There we go. Kill it down a little bit. We're speeding through, so we're at 30 kilometers up now. Get rid of that. 30 kilometers up. Well, 26 kilometers up actually, because we're going to land on land. And you can see, yeah, we had plenty of time there to do this, so we actually could cut this out a bit. We'll let it go to 100 and then we'll let it stop, because we've got so much fuel it's not going to be a problem. There we go, all the way down to about 100. Kill that, right. And now we're just going to let it drift down a bit, and it's going to pick up a little bit of speed as it does, but that's fine. We don't mind that. We don't mind it picking up speed. We actually, you know, we could have actually let it go closer, and it would have been much more efficient for us. So about 10, yeah, about 10 is good. So now you can see we've almost doubled our speed now. We want to go to surface. We want to make sure we're facing surface, because we're not trying to be orbital anymore. We're trying to come into land. Like so. So we're now 8 kilometers up and falling with a decent amount of speed now. We could probably just, you know, suicide burn it, you know, possibly. But I don't really want to do that. I don't think we need to do that. We could also use this bottom tank as a sort of braking stage, but we will see. So we've killed off most of our lateral velocity. You can see we're almost pointing straight up now. And so yeah, we're not doing too bad. I think at about 2 kilometers, we're just going to try and almost zero out our velocity and let the landing craft take over. And let's do that. There we go. Well, actually, no, we'll go a bit lower. We'll go a bit lower. We just... oh, look, we've got some ground scatter there. We can see our shadow. Now, interestingly, the Apollo craft, when they came into land, required that the sun actually be at quite an acute angle, so that you'll be able to see their shadows more easily. And that's something that people forget. That, you know, number one, they wanted the cameras to be able to pick up nice pictures and stuff, obviously, of people on the moon. But the primary concern was being able to use the shadow to gauge distance, because humans use shadows. That's what we do. We're going to decouple that and give us a little burst of energy. So that's going to go down. Now the gravity of that should hopefully make it fly off to one side, and it'll give us a nice mighty, and see it coming down in the shadow there. Isn't that cool? We're up to 30 meters per second. Now I don't know what's the... This has got a much nicer little... There we go, just slow us down a bit. And we're now going to use a bit of throttle power. Oh, it's rubbish. It doesn't matter. Just pulling us down. Exhibibly. What's the phrase? I cannot say that word. That's a word I cannot say. Inexorably is the word I was actually looking to try and say. And contact, engine off. There we go. We are down upon the moon. Right. Val, guess it's time to do some reporting. What have we got? We got this, we got that, we got that. We'll get one of these. There we go. Take that. We can have both of them actually. And I suppose it's time to get out. Right. How are you feeling? Can I take a sample? Take a surface sample. Got that. EVA report. From moon's lowlands, look at the sky. So we actually landed? I think we landed. So we're going to, let's see, take data. We're going to collect data. We're going to collect data. We're going to take data. And we're going to take data and store all of our experiments there. Right, Val. Time to go. Now, you have a jetpack. Pretty sure you've got a jetpack. So we should be alright. Look at that. She's down. Right. Take a sample. Keep it. Do an EVA report. Keep it. We probably won't need it. Plant flag. That's right. Well done, Val. You've put the Union flag on the moon. Look at that. Oh, first Val. First Val. That's what we're calling it. Right. Oh, you can climb it? Oh. Oh, now that is cool. We'll have that. Yes. That is a picture and a half, isn't it? Yeah, we'll never use that for anything, let's be honest. Right. Jetpack time. Let's go home. You've had some fun. This is not Minmus. Oh, lordy. Gravity kills. Get in. Get in. Bored anyway. We've got everything we want. Now to get into an orbit. So we want to go pretty much 90. We want to go into a 90 as equatorial as possible. So there we go. Not like that though. We want to go over here. There we go. Thank you. Get the gear up. Let's have a look at maneuver mode. Nope, that's the one I wanted. And we want to go to maybe 20. There we go. Right, we're going up at speed. Add maneuver. And we just want to get into orbit right now, don't we? Just get into orbit. Any orbit will do. That's fine. 300. Right, Val. This is not the sort of nicest orbit we're going to have, but it's okay. The little craft is okay. We're nice and nimble now. Look at the power's up. Everything's running wonderfully. Superb. Right. Let's time warp to the correct node. See, we've got this tiny little pod left now. This is what we've actually been sending into orbit around the moon up until now. This burn, it reckons, is going to take 20 seconds or so. We're going to just warp ahead to it. There we go. Coming up. A little bit more. There we go. Let's just fire the engines, get ourselves into orbit, and then we're going to head back. But I think we're actually going to end this episode with Val in orbit of the moon, because I think next episode we'll bring her back, get the science, and then I think we're going to go for a rescue mission. We're going to try and rescue some poor Kerbals. So from me until next time, have a great one.